Hello and welcome back to this Edge of the Earth campaign playthrough. This is SuperFang99. This video should hopefully go over the upgrades that I've chosen for Lily and Monterey after a very successful Ice and Death Part 1, as well as hopefully doing the setup for Ice and Death Part 2. Alright, we earned 8 XP last time. So Lily, of course, we're going the hammer, and we're also going to get this Bandolier. And we're also going to get this level 1 Brand of Cthugha. It's not, it's not a great card. I think it's really good. But ultimately, I think it's a nice in-between card for Lily because it supports the Dragon Pole still, since it does, it takes up an Arcane slot. But it also is a way for Lily to deal more damage if she doesn't have her hammer or the Dragon Pole, because you can use your combat instead of your willpower with this still. And that's pretty valuable for her. She is dropping 2 copies of Azure Flame and 1 copy of Drawn to the Flame to replace those 3 cards. All right, let me put those away. Yeah, Drawn to the Flame. As for Monterey, of course, he's going with the Prophesy Profana. Remember, he is technically a high-level seeker after all. This thing is bonkers. And to complement the Prophesiah with the 5 XP, with 3 XP left, he is getting Janae Beauregard. They go together so freaking well. I really hope I can get both of these out at one time. Cutting those, I'm cutting Leo. Leo, you weren't useful at all last scenario. And you're not as good as Janae and the Prophesiah. So you are going to have to go. Okay. So quickly, those were the upgrades. And now let's do the setup. Well, I guess technically before setup, I should shuffle these cards. Lily has 2 Tekka weaknesses in her deck. I haven't looked at what they are. Monterey has none, surprisingly. Or maybe unsurprisingly. Okay. While I'm shuffling this, I figure I'd give my thoughts on the first scenario. It's a lot of fun. This one, I've played all the campaigns, even though this is technically the first one I've played in paper. And I gotta say, like, this one, its opening feels really thematic and yet also like cohesive. Maybe that's what I'll say. Like, I think part of why I really like this first scenario is that it's going for a similar, not entirely the same, but similar feel as the opening of the Forgotten Age, except the opening of the Forgotten Age will like pummel you into the ground if you're not prepared, which is more likely than not. Especially with the whole supplies mechanic in the Forgotten Age, you really do feel like you're wandering into the jungle completely blind, no idea what you're doing, and everywhere you turn there's snakes and there's poison and there's more snakes that you like don't want to kill, and it's really, really annoying. You really have to like change everything that you do to a certain extent going through that campaign. This one feels similar in theme, where we're exploring this strange place, Antarctica. There are treacheries and hazards everywhere, but it doesn't feel like it. I get the same feeling of exploration and like wondering what's around the next corner without getting very frustrated at the game. And to that extent, I think that this first scenario is a great success when it comes to an opening like this. That being said, I haven't even played the second scenario. I played the third one, the part 3, I should say. That was a pretty cool scenario. I'll see, like, because I think that ultimately one of the problems that I can foresee with the first three scenarios is that they will feel similar because we're using the same locations in all three, just with different objectives and different circumstances. So we'll see if that gets old. But so far, I'm really liking it. All right, I think this is shuffled enough for Lily. Let me shuffle up Monterey's Jack. Monterey Jack's deck. This should go a little faster. Let's also talk about Lily and Monterey's performance in the last scenario. Monterey was, of course, doing very well. He was able to get his deductions pretty early on, which allowed us to keep up the tempo. If you notice, we were getting pretty fast. We were done with the scenario with around 5 turns left. I technically didn't even need to go to Icebreaker Landing because the only thing that's there is one of the supplies things. But I figured I should because I think that I still have no idea what the supplies do. So I imagine that, or I say supplies recovered to do. I imagine it'll be good though to get those supplies. But yeah, Monterey was going and cloovering. Pilfer turned out to be very good. And because of Monterey, he was able to afford it, which was very useful. And of course, lockpicks, very good. I can't wait to play the Prophesiah and Janae, though. All right, let me also look at this tarot deck. Technically, I'm supposed to do this before setting up the game, so that's what I'm doing. All right, let's see what it is for Monterey this time. The Empress 3. During the first agility test, each investigator, aka just Monterey, performs each round. They get -1 agility. Well, I guess that's kind of okay. Maybe at 4, basically. Well, could have been worse. Could have been worse. Yeah, all right. Well, let's draw opening hands, because technically we're supposed to do this before setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, she gets a tick of Lily. Oh, I guess I can see what it is. Place a clue. Oh, that'll be useless. Just don't get clues, Lily. Okay. Now this is tough. Do I go hard on the hammer? Yeah, I'm going to mulligan everything. Really want that hammer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we got the machete and the dragon pole. I think I'll stick with the machete, but, you know, backup's backup. That's why we have machetes, in case we don't get the dragon pole, or the shrivelings, or the brand of Cthulhu's, or the hammer. All right. Let's have Monterey's deck. We're looking for Janae or Jeremiah and the Prophesiah, of course. And probably some economy to pay for them all. Okay, so this card, I didn't have the XP to upgrade it, so this is for sure going, because that's useless. I think I'm going to keep the emergency cash, because I'm hoping to pay for some expensive things. So let's draw 4 more. Another emergency cash. Slip away. Lucky cigarette case. And manual dexterity. That's not a very good opening hand. That will be a bit rough. Hopefully, we can start moving, drawing lots of cards. I'll probably play the lucky cigarette case for the occasional card draw. I don't have a reliable-ish way to activate it yet. You know, without the lockpicks, because that's the main way I would say I activate that. As I shuffle this deck, I'll finish off talking about Lily. I think once Lily gets the Dragon Pole and 3 spells, she is whacking away. So really the difficulty with Lily is getting those cards. Dragon Pole, I was lucky I was able to get Dragon Pole first and 1 spell asset, and the Arcane Initiate. I think I underestimated how powerful the Arcane Initiate would be in Lily, because it can get more spells to fill up those arcane slots, which, you know, that's what we need. I still have them in the deck to hopefully get Wards of Protection and the Branch of Cthulhu, but I am eventually going to phase them out in favor of Beat Cop level 2s, just because it is a way better card, in my opinion at least. At least for Lily, of course. Like, obviously, I wouldn't take Beat Cop level 2 and say Diana. But Lily is very unique in that aspect, of course. All right. So those are opening hands. And now let's finish with setup. All right, Ice and Death, Part 2. Your team scrambles in preparation to search for those who went missing in the night. You hate the idea of venturing back into the freezing cold so soon after taking refuge, but you have no choice if you are to find your companions. Add 1 Frost token to the Chaos bag. All right, so let's have +1 Frost. So we have 2 Frost tokens on the Chaos bag, which means technically there's another auto-fail in the Chaos bag, albeit a very rare occurrence, because it's something like 1 in 200 something that I would draw both during a test, judging on the math, at least. Of course, without any, more cursing or bless. I don't have curse or bless because I don't have Intimate. So, pretty low probability that I will draw it. All right. Read each passage below that corresponds to the characters who are not missing, then proceed to setup. If Dr. Amy Kensler is alive and not missing, she is alive and not missing. This is a complete mess, Dr. Kensler says with an exasperated sharpness to her voice. Where in the hell could they have gone? And how is it that none of us noticed? You reach out to assure her, but she is already gathering her things, getting ready to lead the search. If Dr. Amy Kensler is chosen to accompany Investigator this game, she enters play with 1 additional secret. In addition, if Dr. Mala Sinha is missing, she is not. The only person missing is Professor William Dyer. If Professor William Dyer is alive and not missing, that's not true. If Avery Claypool is alive and not missing, Claypool takes inventory of your remaining supplies, shaking his head as he counts. Nothing's missing, he confesses in disbelief. They took nothing with them. Nobody saw them leave, and there's no evidence they were taken. It makes no sense. You ask Claypool how long one could survive out there without supplies. In this weather, and with those things still out there, his knowing eyes flee from yours. They won't survive the night. If Avery Claypool is chosen to accompany an investigator this game, he enters play with 1 additional supply. In addition, if rolled Ellsworth is not missing, he's not missing, he's just dead. If James Cookie Fredericks is alive and not missing, Cookie loads bullets into his revolver with a faraway gaze. You get the sense this isn't the first time he's woken to such trauma. We're gonna find him. We're gonna find him, he intones over and over under his breath. We're gonna find him. You're unsure who he's trying to convince. If James Cookie Fredericks is chosen to accompany an investigator this game, he enters play with 1 additional ammo. Okay, well, and Takada Hiroko is not missing, so. Investigator setup. Each investigator's base starting resources is equal to the shelter value of the camp instead of 5. Oh, okay, we start with 7 resources. Nice job. That'll be very good. Oh, I shouldn't have kept the emergency cash then. Yeah. Each investigator may choose 1 available member of the expedition team who is not crossed off or marked MIA to join them. So we could choose Kensler, Cookie, Claypool. Let me go find them. Oh, we definitely want Claypool. And we can take Amy. I think we'll take Amy on Lily since it can allow her to investigate. And we'll take Claypool on Monterey. So Amy will go into play with 4 secrets instead of 3. And Claypool will come into play with 3 supplies instead of, 6 supplies instead of 5. All right, scenario setup from the checkpoint. This is where we are. Gather all cards from the Lost in the Night and Left Behind encounter sets. These sets are indicated by the following icons. All right. Lost in the Night. Oh, wow, that's a big encounter set. Oh, Jesus, this is a huge encounter set. Okay. Yeah, this whole thing. Left Behind. Where's Left Behind? No, not these. Okay. So here. Oh, here they are. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Search the encounter deck in all out-of-play areas for all cards from the Crash and Creatures in the Ice encounter sets. Remove each card from these encounter sets from the game. These sets are indicated by the following icons. Okay, so I've already done that with the Crash, and then I need to go here for Creatures in the Night. In the Ice, sorry. That is... Where are they? Oh, it is the spider one. Okay. Okay, so it's these ones. Okay, move from the game. Okay, let's put that back. I'm just going to quickly order these. 1, 5, 2, 7, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. Okay. Build the agenda deck using agendas 4 and 6, and the act deck using act 2. All right, 4 through 6. And 2. Okay. Put each remaining set-aside uncharted location into play. Okay, so this is the last one that was not in play. That will be down here. Really far away. Place clues on each revealed location equal to its clue value. Okay, so we have 2 here. 2 there. 4 there. 2 there. 4 there. 4 up there. And 6 there. Several members of the expedition go missing in the night. Find each possessed enemy from the Lost in the Night encounter set whose title matches one of the expedition team members marked MIA in your campaign log. Set each of these enemies aside face down. Remove the rest from the game. Okay, so I think, yep, here they are. So who was missing? Dyer. Where's Dyer? There he is. Send him aside. Does it say face down? Face down. Remove the rest from the game. Find the story cards from the Lost in the Night encounter set and shuffle them. One at a time, add one of these cards face down to the previously set aside enemies, until there are a total of exactly 9 enemies and story cards set aside this way. Remove the unused story cards from the game. Say what? Find the story cards from the Lost in the Night encounter set and shuffle them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So shuffle them. One at a time, add one of these cards face down to the previously set aside enemies until there are a total of 9 enemy and story cards set aside in this way. Remove the unused story cards from the game. Okay. 9, huh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I guess that if there are more people missing, then you'll get less story, I guess. Shuffle these 9 set aside cards and place one face down beneath each of the 9 uncharted locations in play. Oh Lord. We really need to go fast then. Let me just continue reading as I do this. Each investigator begins play at the camp. We're already there. Shuffle the remainder of the previously gathered encounter cards into the encounter deck. You are now ready to begin. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if the act will tell us how to look at these cards. Most likely. Okay, so each uncharted location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. And we shuffle the remainder of the previously gathered. So these, sorry for bumping the camera there. These with that. Okay. I'm going to quickly look at the act to see how we can do this. Oh, okay, we just spend 2 clues. We draw the encounter card. Perfect. Okay, well, that will do it for this video. Hopefully the scenario itself will be up later today or tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure yet. If you enjoyed this type of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been SuperFang99 signing off.